The heavy favorite, a player in the top left. He is the blue Terran player from StarCom, representing Russia. It is Braddock. That's who you meant, right?
Sure, Grant. Sure. And his opponent. Down on the bottom right-hand side in the red, representing a country that historically has never had any problems with Russia, Germany. It is ShoWTimE. Little joke for all you history nerds out there. I love this. Look at this. Already a bit of friction in this match. Not, you know, it's fun because our last series was very standard. The first 10 minutes of each game was just like, all right, they're building up. They got the same builds, and already Braddock is showing us something a little spicy, Grant. Why is this unusual?
Yeah, creating this wall off early, I mean, it completely denies vision. And usually if you do this, you are getting a quick second racks or something along those lines. But it's not going to be that. It is going to be very, very unusual here. And that is going to be rack CC on the high ground. So what Braddock is doing here is he's trying to get ShoWTimE to go, okay, I have to be careful. There could be a 2 or a 3 racks a la Clem earlier today when he took on Christiana, when in fact it is just pretty standard. Okay, now we're getting a little bit more out there with that second racks going down as well. So this is like a bluff on top of a bluff here, because the CC, you know, that's not unusual, but maybe it could have gone down on the natural. But now also hiding that second racks. This is certainly, ShoWTimE has some Sherlock Holmesing to do here.
He definitely does, and I think his Meerschaum pipe and his Deerstalker hat are not too far away. A Stargate popping out for ShoWTimE, and that is, of course, the perfect antidote to not having any scouting. The problem is, Grant, that when you go for Void Ray and Oracle openings, those units are a little flimsier, a little more papier-mâché than usual. And if Braddock just goes like straight Marines on 2 bases and goes for that sort of cheeky 5-6 minute Clem push with nothing but Marines, Stargate openers can leave you a bit weak, especially if ShoWTimE is greedy and goes for a 3rd base.
And right now, that is exactly what is happening. And ShoWTimE is the kind of player who will want to look for a 4-minute, 24-minute, 30 3rd base. But he hasn't seen anything. Of course, he's seen that there is no natural just yet, so I don't anticipate ShoWTimE doing anything wild. I think he'll probably get an Oracle to scout, and that is going to be the case here. If he gets a 2nd and a 3rd Oracle, that wouldn't be bad by any means. We do see Braddock's going to come in for a scout here, but I like the way Braddock's is approaching this series so far. He's looking to be aggressive. He's getting the eBay as well. He's getting combat shields and combat shields and stim that'll finish at the same time. And this is a Clement build. This is the exact build Clem did earlier, and he killed his opponent dead with it. So finally the CC is going to land, and that gives away that this is not, of course, anything absolutely wild. If it was, it probably would have hit by now. What I'm curious of is there any Marines in the main? Yes, there is. Our Terran player is very, very prepared so far. Braddock has come into this with a plan, and so far, execution, 10 out of 10.
Yeah, absolutely. And you took the words right out of my mouth. This is the identical build we saw from Clem earlier. The only difference is that Braddock built his CC on the high ground, not the low ground, but the early stim, early combat shields against a Protoss player. Last time it was Clem Christiana. This time it's Braddock ShoWTimE. And Braddock has now officially been scouted, right? So now he has to move out maybe a little earlier than he would have liked, because the element of surprise is completely gone. And ShoWTimE, Sherlock Holmes, is ready for this. I think he's got the revelation down, and behind this, look at this. Sentries coming in for the additional force fields. He's got shield batteries coming down in very aggressive forward locations to make sure he can defend, and he's rotating down to his 3rd. He does not want to lose this 3rd, Grant. That is one of his biggest advantages right now in this game.
I like what ShoWTimE did so far. He used his oracles almost like stalkers, if you open Blink, to push and poke and be annoying and just slow down the Terran player very, very quickly. The difference right now between ShoWTimE and Clem is Clem wouldn't have scanned. He would have just gone. Braddock a little bit more defensive so far. Micro not bad with this CC, this Nexus not done though. There is no overcharge, and Braddock is just going to back off here. And I think we can say a very unsuccessful push when all is said and done.
Yeah, I mean, if you open the battle report, Grant, you'll be unsurprised to see, look, literally nothing died for either side in that push, I don't think.
Nope.
Hilariously engaged there. The shield battery for ShoWTimE finishing up at the millisecond before one of his sentries died, topping everything up just the right moment. And this is going to put Braddock miles behind Grant. Yes, he's got a lot of army supply on the map, and if you just look at the ribbon at the bottom, you're like, oh, he's down a couple workers, he'll be fine, right?
A couple.
Look at his infrastructure. There's the factory just finishing, the starport just finishing, barracks 4 and 5 about halfway done. He's got no tanks, no widow mines, no medevacs, no Vikings, no Ravens, no Tiki, no Shirty, no nothing, Grant.
No shoes, no shirt, no service right now for Brattok. He is in a little bit of trouble. He does have his first medevacs coming out. His marauder count is already becoming marauder count. It's not fantastic by any means, but behind this, ShoWTimE is getting his robotics bay. His third is very, very happily ticking along, almost fully saturated with gases 5 and 6 going down as well. And this is where things become very problematic. We can see here the oracles continue to be a nuisance, getting these big revelations, keeping track of everything, meaning drops will be more difficult. Everything is going to be trickier here for Brattok. This is ShoWTimE's wheelhouse. This is his strength. This is where he's most comfortable. When we get into the mid to late game, he is not going to take much damage so far. I mean, ShoWTimE lived up to his nickname, right? He's called Demour the Wall because of his defensive prowess. He has not lost a unit in this game, and we are 7 minutes in, Creighton.
Grant, we got to stop casting together. I was literally just about to start talking about ShoWTimE's nickname and how this is exactly what he wants from his opponent. You beat me to it. Yes, the wall here from Germany is not going to crumble anytime soon. Again, that forward shield battery he built for the early aggression is going to serve him very well. And here comes the push, but good force fields on the ramp, zoning out that army. And the longer this push goes, the better the longer this push takes, the better it is for ShoWTimE, because now, of course, there's a big stim on Brattok's army that's going to drain the energy from the already relatively small number of medevacs because the starport was so late. Brattok cutting corner after corner here. Even though the army supply looks about the same, the army value already in ShoWTimE's favor, and the infrastructure way in his favor as well.
Yeah, I mean, there's no third CC behind this, and we are now nearly 8 minutes in, so the third CC really is going to become very, very necessary soon as mules and stuff mine out these Terran bases quicker. We're seeing Brattok try to get some pressure, but one Colossus already out. As soon as the second hits the field, and they do not have extended thermal lance, it becomes very hard to break this, and we do see Brattok, he's going to go for it, but he just does not have enough now, forced to retreat. He is going to try and make Vikings, try and make more Marauders here to keep his army strong, but if we take a look at the battle report, even in this fight, we can see, I mean, it is, it was just absolute destruction. Brattok going for that hero marine push, pulling all of his army together right now, and it isn't working out. He's 2 bases, soon to be against 4. Still no third CC, and at this point, it is far too late. Gonna even try and go for a drop. Nah, scouted revelation. ShoWTimE is on fire.
Goodness gracious, Grant. This reminds me, I was tasked with Steadfast a couple days ago at DreamHack, and he started talking about errors in the game, and he used the term unforced versus a forced error, which is not something that I thought a lot about in StarCraft. And it was a really, I mean, you know Steadfast, he's such a sharp guy. A really interesting take on the situation. And I think one of the things that's the best way to describe ShoWTimE is that he simply doesn't make unforced. He doesn't make unforced errors.
Nope.
He doesn't overextend with the oracles and get him taken down. He gets the revelations off, and he goes home. He doesn't allow the drops to come through because he's got his observer primed for the view on his 4th base. Like everything ShoWTimE is doing right now is very defensive, but at the same time, it's powering up his economy. And sure, Brattok's on his 3rd base landed now, and he's dropped every mule in the universe. But even with all those mules down, if you pull up the income graph, you'll see that ShoWTimE has been ahead for about, oh, you can't because you don't have key. That's all right. The income graph shows that ShoWTimE's been ahead in income for the last 6 minutes of this 9-minute game.
One thing I will say is I think I found a mistake, Creighton. I think I did it. I have solved the puzzle. I've Sherlock Holmes myself. We're looking at 2 Colossus here, 3 Colossus here. ETL was never started. Yeah, an upgrade forgotten there. Big stasis water, catching almost all of these Marauders. Very, very important units for the bulk of the army. This run by finding devastating damage to the very late 3rd base as it is. And also most likely going to supply block our hero Terran player in the top here. We do have a counter push coming in, but look, a big stasis ward in position. There are great Colossus. The overcharge coming in nice and early. The Vikings not able to burst down Colossus before they are fully healed. And although the front line is starting to dissipate, it is not enough, and ShoWTimE takes game 1.
That was tough to watch, Grant. That was real tough to watch. You know, neither player really had much of a way to change their fate at the end of the game, unless ShoWTimE had made some kind of massive Bronze League blunder there. Brattok's initial build just simply didn't get any damage done, and going for a 3 barracks opener, you have to find damage. I think maybe we get spoiled because we see players like Clem and Hero Marine do moderate damage with a three barracks opener, and they're like, okay, maybe they've done enough here where they can keep going. But if you don't get enough damage done at the beginning, it just, you've got a huge hole to dig yourself out of, and you cannot put yourself in that position against a player like ShoWTimE, who is just so mechanically precise.
Yeah, I mean, as we said, the first 7 minutes of the game, I believe, no damage taken. Not one SCV, not one Zealot, not one Stalker, not one Sentry. Nothing died. ShoWTimE was absolutely unbreakable, and then when he finally did break out, he'd absorbed all the pressure, and like a rubber band, he flinged it straight back in the face and was able to get the kill. Brattok did play from behind, though. It was a build order loss, so to speak, as free racks did nothing. I don't anticipate we see that again here on Oxide. I think if Brattok is going to do this, he's going to have to do something else. I wouldn't be remiss to seeing some more aggression in the form of Liberators, or maybe something funky like Banshees, something a little more uncommon, or play straight up and bloody hope ShoWTimE makes a mistake later in the game. Not easy. But we came into the series knowing it was going to be very difficult for Brattok. He's been in good form. He's one of those players like fine wine, just seems to be getting better and better again. ShoWTimE, though, I mean, he's the best that we have here in terms of Protoss players in Europe, or certainly always in the discussion, and a favourite to go very, very far in this tournament. Not quite been on the level of, you know, the other three that we talk about so often these days, but he's just one step behind and expected to certainly be making it very far until he meets one of those guys.
Definitely. And as we load into our game here on Oxide LA, I think it's important to note that, like, ShoWTimE reminds me a lot of playing a Zerg player, where if you're a Terran player, you pretty much have to get damage done against a Zerg player, right? You got to kill some drones or something, or the Zerg player just grows out of control. ShoWTimE sort of reminds me of that kind of player, where if you don't get something done early, if you let ShoWTimE play the game that he wants to play, he's just going to steamroll you, because he has just so few weaknesses. His power hex, theoretically, would be just so well-rounded, so good. But here's the player who's trying to topple him over. Up in the top right-hand side in the blue, representing StarCom Gaming and Mother Russia, it is Brattok.
And his opponent in the bottom left, leading the series 1-0, representing the Berlin International Gamers, he is Demauer, the Protoss player from Germany. It's ShoWTimE. And that means more than one thing. Because I'm sure we're in for a show here. This time, we do have the same opening here from Brattok. He is going to hide what is going on in his main. I would be very surprised to see another free racks build here. But, I mean, Oxide's a very short map in terms of between main to main. It doesn't take a long time to get across. It's not a bad choice by any means, of course. Marine coming in. So far, everything is identical here, Creighton.
Yeah, both those gases taken, fully saturated already, and Brattok hiding his main base. I wonder if ShoWTimE is going to be suspicious that the same build is happening here. And no, it's going to be a factory this time. Sometimes with 2 gases taken, you can still go for the 3 racks opener, but usually, yeah, we're going to see factory. And I imagine a 1-1-1 behind this. Brattok going Marine first is just fine. He doesn't really need to scout since he's going for such a standard opener here. And I would have to imagine low ground CC coming very shortly.
Yeah, and against ShoWTimE, you know, scouting for a proxy is, I don't want to say a fool's errand, but it's certainly less common. You don't see ShoWTimE proxy very often. I've seen it in the past, but against Brattok, he's going to feel comfortable enough to play a standard game. If this was Clem, maybe I'd be like, okay, scout a bit more, because ShoWTimE might throw out something funky to try and upset the rhythm of Clem. This game, though, I like what Brattok is doing. As we said, he sort of faked that he was doing the same thing, and he's doing something very different, looking like we're going for a very quick Widowmine drop here. We do need to see that CC go down pretty soon, but this is the quickest possible Widowmine drop, if I am correct. You do have to get the reactor so you don't die to one Adept, but aside from that, the quickest possible tech here, and this is going to be 2 Widowmines, very, very quick. Is there time for a third? There is, right? Yeah, there is. So possibly 3 or even 4 Widowmines here, and if ShoWTimE is out of position, unprepared, he could be in trouble.
Yeah, could be in real trouble. Those Widowmine drops can be terrifying, Grant. One of the few strategies that Terran has in a TVP that just ends the game immediately, you know? Sometimes we'll see the Hellion drops that end the game quite quickly, get 10, 11, 12 probe kills, but the Widowmine drops, in the blink of an eye, I mean, literally the blink of an eye, the Widowmines can go up and just take everything out. The good news for ShoWTimE is Twilight Council's down. Blink going to be on the way beyond this. Blink is one of the only really common follow-ups for a Protoss player, opening with Twilight Council. And, you know, we talked about it last game, but ShoWTimE just doesn't make unforced errors, man. He's going to see this 3 Widowmine drop coming at some point. with his scouting Phoenix. Look at that. He's going to see it coming
my God.
right away. Oh, my
What a
God.
scout.
He sees the Widow Mines load up into the medevac, and this looks like duck soup so far for ShoWTimE.
Yeah, all he needs to do now is defend. Of course, this is still cloaked Widow Mines. The armory is 75-80% done, and there is still the potential that if ShoWTimE, you know, he blinks, and as we said, in the blink of an eye, all goes down the toilet. Even scouted, this is hard to deal with if your stalkers are not in the right position, and right now, in fact, they are not. We are going to see what is going to be almost certainly a forced evacuation of the third. In fact, they're going to surround, but this Widow Mine will get the burrow, is going to get an explosion off on the adept, and a bit of damage on the stalker. One going up into the main here. Will not get a lot done. Nice juggling here to try and keep it alive. A lot of lost mining time, but really, when all is said and done, Creighton, this ain't any damage. It is unfair how good ShoWTimE is at pulling against those Widow Mines. Just getting out. StarCraft. That's fair. So good. The bad news for ShoWTimE is that the armory's done, so the cloak is actually finished up on these Widow Mines, meaning he's got to continue to pull until he gets his observer out. Now that means each of these Widow Mines should get one more shot off, and I think ShoWTimE knows his timings fairly well. This is cute. So he should be able to get out of here. But I love, this is very cute. As Braddock brings a couple more Marines into the main base to try and continue the damage against these probes. Yeah, it isn't going to work out in the end, and Blink is very close to complete. And so, Braddock, if you don't get out of that soon, you're going to lose that. Okay, just manages to save the very important medevac. Braddock is dropping 4 more down in the natural here, Creighton. This is becoming very, very difficult to deal with for ShoWTimE. Although, as again we said, ShoWTimE is so on top of it. Blink, nah, man. Okay, ShoWTimE's too good. All right, I get you. Fair enough. Unfair, Grant. The medevac going down. Nice focus fire by ShoWTimE. Good, cool head under pressure here. A lot of lower tier players would maybe focus on the Widow Mines and try and kill him off. But ShoWTimE knows that if he gets the medevac, he's got the micro skills to pull his probes away and then make sure all of his Widow Mines are dead. I love these 2 Marines trapped in the base behind enemy lines right now. They're radioing in desperately. You gotta get us out of here, man. We're gonna die. No man left behind. They're getting left behind. Exactly. Look at the units lost tab overall, though. You're going to see, 7 Widow Mines and a medevac down for the cost of 6 probes. And you know, Grant, usually the sort of general rule of thumb is 2 to 1. If you have Hellions or Widow Mines, you want to kill about twice as many probes as you lose in attacking units. And 7-6. I'm not a math guy, but that's not 2 to 1. No, it's close, but it's not quite there. You're certainly the two boys left behind finally go in and a sacrifice to the greater good. We did see ShoWTimE try to push up into the natural, but Braddock has got a tank and it is sieged up. 1 in the main, 1 in the natural, keeping him very safe from any Blink shenanigans for now. And but behind this, ShoWTimE is already up to 49 probes. He's producing 3 at a time. 6 more gateways about to complete here, Creighton. And ShoWTimE has full control of the map. Upgrades wise, we can see actually no, is there even a forge yet? No forge just yet. So Braddock will be able to pull ahead for a short amount of time, although Chrono Boost is pretty bloody good for keeping it up. My concern is that ShoWTimE doesn't care about upgrades. He cares about killing his opponent dead. And this next push is very, very much could do that. Yeah, I suspect that's exactly what's going to happen here. I don't think we're going to see a forge unless ShoWTimE's next push doesn't do too much. You can see his Warp Prism making it across the map. He's going to load up 4 Zealots, get him into the main to try and distract some of the units, maybe get on top of the tanks here. Charge is about to finish up, so those charge lots will be on top of the tank. And oh my god, if Braddock decides to move out right now, this is going to be a terrifying, terrible timing. These Stalkers are going to keep this army at bay for as long as they can, and the drop in the main could be absolutely terrifying. Yeah, as soon as ShoWTimE sees this army moving out, he moves into the main with the Prism. Reinforcements will not be enough to deal with this with a warping cycle as well. That is going to be a whole bunch of Zealots warped into the main. Just kidding, only 1 swag Zealot. But I mean, this is... God. Okay, it's going to complete. It's going to complete. 4-3. It's going to complete. He might grab combat shields, though, which would be a nice little win here with no combat shields. Oh, Braddock's push just gets weaker and weaker. At this point, Braddock may as well pull the boys and try and end this thing. He's on 3 bases, but ShoWTimE's already saturated his third. No, he's on 2 bases, just starting his third. ShoWTimE's already saturated his third. It's going to get cancelled. And, oh, God. This is just going from bad to worse here for our Russian Terran player. Yeah, he may be able to save the space from a full cancellation, but it is slowed down quite significantly once again. And at the other side of the map, there's a Viking even just floating around, seeing what it can do. Warpin's going to be able to deal with any pressure that could cause by landing. And Braddock is behind. He's down 20 workers, Creighton. He's producing a couple of SCVs. He's trying to add on liberators with a speech impediment and keep going through the game. +2, close to completing. Sorry, just started off here for Braddock. Still no upgrades completed for ShoWTimE. He is going to be a full upgrade behind, and maybe there's a small window of opportunity for Braddock due to that. But I mean, ShoWTimE is just playing like 4D chess. while Brattok is playing checkers right now. He's so on top of everything. He's so ahead. He's got complete control. Storm on the way. He's going to be devastating against the army that's being built up here. And I really like ShoWTimE in the late game where he is playing against ghosts and things, whereas Brattok, I'm not so sure. I feel like we haven't seen him get to ghosts and things, if he even goes that direction, in a long time.
You're absolutely right, Grant. ShoWTimE is just making this look so easy. He's defending against very difficult pushes. He's read his opponent very, very well. It's, again, if you're just sort of watching the game casually, you might be like, oh, ShoWTimE's just playing Protoss. He's so good because Protoss is so easy. Grant, you're on my camera, right?
No.
Oh, hop onto my camera or just follow ShoWTimE's camera. Just punch 1 and watch what ShoWTimE is doing, how quickly he's moving and how he's identifying all these threats one by one. Sees the Liberator moving in, moves the camera away, controlling about 3 different army groups, pulls his probe at the last minute, warps in stalkers to deal with it, sets up for his push on this side of the map. ShoWTimE is doing about 6 or 7 different tasks flawlessly, all at the same time, and it really is incredible.
Yeah, the ShoWTimE is certainly playing some very, very sexy StarCraft right now. Like, I mean, if I were to watch his stream, I'm pretty sure it'd be in beaches, pools, and hot tubs. That's the most suitable category for it right now.
Very sexy. Very sexy.
Very sexy, but still within the terms of service, which is lovely. There are a lot of tanks here. It will be quite difficult to push. If the tanks can get some big shots off on these zealots, it would be nice. But look how many zealots we're looking at, Creighton. There are 31 bloody zealots here. There aren't that many mines. There aren't that many tanks. And the SimCity is going to help out here. But I don't think there's enough DPS here for my Terran army, with storms raining down from above as well. This is just absolute domination. ShoWTimE with a 60 supply lead. ShoWTimE with a dominating performance in this series, looking bloody good. And that is that. GG.